You know, I don't know what angle I should approach this in, but I'm just gonna say it. I hate Bill Cipher. Why, you may ask? Because he's an absolute menace. He's a master manipulator who makes deals with great minds in which they are secretly in his favor. The massive ego of this three-sided figure is larger than the planet itself. All of his workers do most of the heavy lifting. And wait a second. Oh, I'm supposed to be talking about Illuminati. Oh. I'm sorry, my mistake. Anyway, I absolutely loathe this crackhead trying to pass herself off as a content creator. She manipulates people into doing things that are secretly in her favor. She lets them do most of the heavy lifting. Her brain-altering ego is larger than most states here in America, and ironically enough, was the reason she got cancelled. But slow your rolls. We must start at the beginning before serving the juice. Let's get into it. 2015 was an interesting time for humanity, and just so happened to be the year our moldy Dorito entered this world. Specifically YouTube. I'm not trying to say that she was born in 2015. Anyway, the content she would produce seemed ethical for the most part. Posting videos calling out businesses and or parties that had immoral practices or tactics to get as much money out of your wallet as possible. Wow, I sure hope that kind of content doesn't age poorly in the future. It was really until this tweet that would soon open a series of doors that would ultimately end her career. The tweet essentially says that fellow creator LegalEagle had stolen her editing style. Which, What? I am no expert at this whole content creating shenanigans, but I feel like that's the last thing you would want to call out a content creator for. I mean, I don't watch these creators and think that they're trying to steal Mr. Beast's content. As long as they're putting their own spin on it, and it's actually good, then it's not really worth getting angry over. And Illuminaughtii wasn't exactly a clean slate on the topic either.
You don't own that. You're not making anything, you're just slapping shit together. Not that it's important, but to defend LegalEagle a little bit, they even had a torn paper effect 4 years ago. It's almost like this person has brainworms. Now, the response that she got for the call out was not the response that she was hoping for.
Needless to say, Blair, if that's your real name, had completely failed at calling out a literal lawyer and had people turning on her left and right. So you see, this one fatal mistake would create a storm, in which Blair was right in the middle of it. With controversy after controversy, the empire she worked so hard to build would have a downfall so enormous it would give James Charles a run for his money. The coming weeks would soon shed light on Illuminaughti's behavior behind the scenes. It would only be then she shows her true colors and shades of green. Buckle up, everyone. Time to dive right into the dark underbelly of Illuminaughtii.
I've made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment, and I don't expect to be forgiven. I'm simply here to apologize.
That I wish I could make go away, that I try to make go away by deleting videos or untagging my Instagram things or literally doing whatever I can to pretend like those things didn't happen.
Apology videos. Don't you just love them? With varying levels of quality and sometimes bizarre tactics in order to say they are wrong or do a 180. The sole purpose of these videos are to address the situation they find themselves in their perspective, or what they want you to think their perspective is. And rather hilariously, Blair would attempt to make an apology video with the only issue being it wasn't an actual apology video.
I want to start with an apology. I have apologized privately to LegalEagle the day after this incident occurred, though I have not been publicizing that until right now.
this geometric crybaby took the time to apologize to 1.2 million people for a full 3 minutes before using the extra 39 minutes to essentially say,
"But I am in the right, and the actual adult of the situation is in the wrong."
which we all know is bull. This single video would inadvertently cause this rabbit hole to go deep. The Google Drive that was linked down in the video painted a picture of Blair being the very person who made Sad Milk, a former reaction channel, to become as big of a name as it was, while literally every other creator was painted as beneath her. And I should also mention that this video came out 12 days after MatPet's The Color of Evil was released on Style Theory, with purple and green being most associated with evil, and Cyclops Pyramid also was associated with purple and green. Need I say more? Some of the most notable creators who had dirt smeared across their names were The Click, One Topic at a Time, and Wonderstruck, all who were accused of sleeping on the job. The Click would then create a 33-minute video addressing all that went down, involving Illuminaughtii and Sad Milk as a whole. On July 26th of last year, Cruel World Happy Mind would dedicate 2.5 hours talking about her experiences with this parasitic villain.
Blair uses Wikipedia constantly. You see how she takes an insecurity of hers and throws it back in someone's face.
She sits down for a video, drinks a coffee, is distracted the whole time, and just gives her opinion on how she feels about things.
However, what could arguably be the content creator who had it worse was the person closest to Illuminaughtii, and therefore suffered the most. Her ex-boyfriend, Oz Media.
I need to make everyone aware, for reasons that I hope this update will make clear. For my safety, I need to put a short and temporary pause on production of my video on Illuminaughtii.
Oz Media was unfortunate enough to feel the full force of Illuminauttii's wrath. She would manipulate Oz into making poor financial decisions that would later lead him into debt, and she took full advantage of his situation.
What I can only describe as retaliation from the person who's my ex, former employer, and prior colleague, Blair is in the process of currently foreclosing my home. Because of this stress of Blair taking my home from me, I need to pump the brakes and change directions so I won't be homeless come Christmas.
Oz felt trapped by Illuminauttii's puppet strings. He was too afraid to tell anyone who hadn't already known of his financial situation, in fear of more eyes looking down at him. Blair would then have Oz sign legal documents that would, quote, pay back her debt. You can probably put 2 and 2 together to see why this was bad for Oz. However, he managed to set up a GoFundMe for his legal fees and housing funds, which I will link in the description, so there's still hope for Oz's situation. The same can't be said, however, for Illuminaughtii. Her reign of terror is slowly starting to collapse in on itself, all while she is trying to squeeze every last bit of juice she has left in her once respected community. And while the Illuminaughtii situation is far from over, her power and control over YouTube as a whole most certainly is.